Hello everyone and welcome back. So the sim has cached and I'm gonna look at the time frame. So it started at 12:35 and it finished in 3 minutes for 60 frames. Pretty good. I'm gonna put down a file node and I'm gonna paste it here. And now we're reading the data back from disk. It's actually quite high res for this sim. And I'm gonna copy the volume viz because I can use it here, and that's how the sim looks like. I'm gonna increase this to 25, maybe this to 3, yep, and we can go back. And because of the high resolution sim and the viewport OpenGL, we cannot play this in real time. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to compress this data and convert it to VDB. So the first thing I'm going to do is a VDB convert, because we use the Houdini native format and it's a geo.se, and we can store VDB volumes in a geo file, which is the Houdini native extension, but for rendering purpose we need the extension file to be VDB and it can only contain volumes. So I'm going to import this data, plug it into a VDB convert node, change it to VDB. And now if I middle click, you see I have VDBs 2, and before it was volumes 2. Now this data is raw. It has 32 bits and it is exactly what the sim needs, but we don't need all this resolution for rendering. We can save it as 16-bit float and that will reduce the file size quite a bit, and this is one way of optimizing the data. So I'm gonna put down a primitive node and go to volumes and adjust compression. Volumes, VDB. I'm gonna turn on write 16-bit floats, and I'm gonna compare side by side one of the frames. I'm gonna go to 60, and I'm gonna save the original. I'm gonna call this original.vdb and current frame. Save to disk, and then original compress or 60, and then save to disk. And if I open, you can see we went down from 170 megabytes to 100 megabytes. This is a huge saving. Instead of 17 terabytes, it only takes 10 terabytes, for example. So that's something we always have to do. And as part of the caching workflow, whenever we import a sim, I will always plug it into these two and make sure that I'm only saving the data that I need. In this case, I only saved density and temperature, and that's all I care about. That's all what I'm going to use for rendering. And there's no visual or noticeable difference, if none, between rendering the original or the 16-bit float. It's not like we're going to lose any data, but we're going to save a lot on disk space. Alright, so that's saving and optimization in a nutshell. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.